Hey, it's me again, Wasabi, and today we're gonna take a look at the new mousepads from Zowie. Now, these mousepads were sent to me by Zowie last year, so I could try them out and share it with you guys. But as always with the content on this channel, these are my thoughts, personal opinions, and experiences with the products. Now, today we got 3 mousepads from Zowie that came up in the later half of 2024, and I spent quite a bit of time using them, which is why I haven't been rolling out mousepad reviews. But this isn't a head-to-head comparison with other brands, it's just my beginner-friendly recommendation video for gamers looking to try some of Zowie's new pads. First off, a quick note about the naming for Zowie's pads. Any pad starting with the letter H means it's an extra large size, and this is a new addition to their lineup. So when you're shopping on their website, Amazon, or any online distributor, just make sure there's a letter H at the start of the name if you want to get the extra large version. And also if your new mouse pads are generally categorized into speed, balance, and control pads. So let's start with the H-SR SE Rouge II, which is Zowie's balance pad. And just so you know, it's Rouge, not Rogue, and all this time I've been calling it Rogue even in my review video. So yeah, mistakes were made. Now this has a high density rubber base with a medium softness. Static and dynamic friction is right within the range that you would expect from a balance pad. And for those who are unfamiliar, the speed and control is average, and in layman terms, it's a surface that is neither too fast nor too slow. And balance pads like this are usually something I enjoy quite a lot because I play a variety of games, so instead of swapping between a control pad and a speed pad for optimal experience of each game type, something like this that sits right in the middle is good enough for everything. Now this pad comes in 2 sizes, the H-SR SE Rouge II, which is an extra large, and it measures in at 500 by 500 millimeters. And you also got the GSR SE Rouge II, which is a standard large size, and that one is a 470 by 390 millimeter. And for all Zowie mousepads, the thickness is 3.5 millimeters. Just take note, if you're shopping online, the older version is just called the GSR SE Rouge, and the 2 in the name is what differentiates the 2 versions. This has a high density rubber base with a medium softness, perfect if you're into trying different skates since it won't sink in so much under pressure. Plus the stitchless edge design is pretty cool. I guess you could say it's a unique touch that sets it apart from other mousepads today because you don't see this design very often. What I like about this pad is the color and design hides dust and dirt pretty well. It offers a balanced glide, and that's great if you switch between games like Valorant and other shooters. The base works awesome with dot skates, and I've never had issues with my mouse sinking in while using dots. And for mine, the edges started to fray a bit over time though, which is something you should expect from a stitchless pad, but even so, it's been holding up great. Now who should get this? If you're into a variety of games, meaning to say that you play more than just tactical FPS for example, and want a versatile pad that lets you adjust the level of speed or control with different skates, this mousepad is a solid pick. The thing I like about balanced surfaces is that when you use speed or control skates, the level of adjustment feels more diverse as compared to say on a control pad, where your range of adjustment will still feel within the range of control. And just a heads up, if you game with high sensitivity, this pad may not be the most optimal for micro adjustments because there is still a fair bit of static and dynamic friction from this one. For high sense, it's still usable, but I would suggest going for a faster pad to save yourself the trouble. And the last thing to note is if fraying is a concern because you like your pad to look perfect all the time, you probably should go for a pad with stitched edges. And unfortunately, Zowie does not have a balanced pad with stitched edges, so you will have to look elsewhere. Next up is the H-SR 3, and it's a control pad and an iconic model from Zowie. What you can expect from this pad is a higher level of static and dynamic friction, which translates to a slower gliding experience. And such an experience supports your aim in a way that it feels more stable. And this really helps with jittery movement from your hold on the mouse, and of course more stopping power. And that helps if you tend to overflick when you want to stop when your reticle is on someone's head, for example. And this one is available in 2 sizes, the H-SR 3, which is the extra large, and the GSR 3, which is a standard large size. This has a high density rubber base with a medium softness, same type of base as the H-SR SE Rouge II, but with a stitch edge that adds to its durability, and the stitching is well done on the H-SR 3. After a bit of break-in, the H-SR 3 does feel slower, almost a tad muddy, which is typical for control pads. If you're playing tactical FPS games, the control from the highest static and dynamic friction, which translates to good stopping power over balance and speed pads, can be a big help in holding an angle steady and managing any jittery movement from holding the mouse, as I said previously. Now who should get this pad? Well, this one is best for gamers who want control and consistency, more particularly if you're into tactical FPS. Control pads are a more common choice in gaming for tactical shooters like CS and Valorant, but you can use it for all other games as well, of course, but some people might find the level of static and dynamic friction of a control pad to hold them back a bit too much for games where where there is a lot of tracking involved. And personally for me, it can also feel a bit tiring for long hours of gaming on a pad with this much control. And last but not least, we have the HTR, and this is basically a H-SR 3, and Zowie had said that they share the same surface, but here you feel like you got a bit more control because of the soft rubber base. And for size options, you got the HTR, which is an extra large, and the GTR, which is a standard large size. This one has a high density soft base, which is new for Zowie, and it is designed to bounce back quickly after you press down on it. So when you move after applying pressure at the end of your glide, you get a smoother transition as you ease off the pressure and the base resets back up. I wouldn't recommend this pad if you use dot skates though. This one feels too soft for that. Compared to the H-SR 3 stitching, that one is a lot tighter and way more resistant to fraying, and the fraying on the HTR is really bad. My experience with the HTR was not much different from the H-SR 3, other than it being a much softer feeling pad, which makes it more comfortable to rest your hand on. It feels a bit slower and you got a bit more control than the H-SR 3, and this one feels like you can stop a lot easier. When you hold the HTR in your hand, it feels like an extra soft artisan pad. If you're not sure about how soft that pad feels, it's like imagine holding an uncooked tortilla wrap or prata if you're from Singapore. And I'm exaggerating a little, but even though it feels so soft and flimsy when you hold it, when you have it down on your desk and you're gaming on it, it feels just like any mousepad with a soft base. Now who should get this one? Well, simply if you want the most control from Zowie's mousepad lineup and enjoy a softer base, the HTR might be the one for you. But if durability is the most important factor, the H-SR 3 feels like a more durable pad. I don't know what's going on with my HTR, but after 2 days it started fraying like this, which is just terrible. My personal favorite is the H-SR SE Rouge II. It has been my main test pad and handles heavy use like a champ. For anyone new to mousepads or looking for a balanced option that won't hold you back, this is the safest bet. Of course, everyone has their personal favorite, but one thing that all these pads have in common, and it's the best thing about Zowie's new pads, is the grippy design on the bottom. Now for all the pads that I have, Zowie's new grippy base is one that I love the most because of how it holds the pad so perfectly well in position on my desk. Even when gaming on a low mouse sensitivity and I'm using a lot of arm movement, the pad stays put. I think it's pretty simple picking a pad from Zowie. Right now, Zowie's new pads, there's a choice between balance or control. For balance, your only choice is really just the H or G-SR SE Rouge II, and for control, it's really just a difference between the hardness of the base. And once you know which surface and base hardness you're interested in, then you gotta consider the space you have on your desk. You really do not want your pad hanging off the edge of your desk, and you don't want it getting in the way of your monitor stand. Now if you play on the low mouse sense, the extra large size works great, but if not, the regular large size should be plenty enough. If this is your first gaming mousepad, you gotta know that for any cloth pad, the glide can change over time as sweat, dust, and dirt get between the fabric. For example, my H-SR SE Rouge II isn't as smooth as it was brand new, but I maintain the glide experience by wiping the fabric with a damp cloth every now and then, and today it still looks and feels really good. Think of it like a t-shirt that doesn't quite feel as fresh as the first day you got it. Of course, as good as that fresh feeling is, you want to keep it clean, if not it'll feel sort of gunky, because it is a fabric at the end of the day. So in conclusion, choose the Zowie mousepad that best fits your gaming style, your desk space, and your personal preference. There are many mousepads that you can buy on the market today, and I think Zowie's mousepads stand out for the quality and performance that you get for the price. I mean, except for my HTR, because that is just terrible, and I hope that it's not a problem across the entire production of that model. But anyway, thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video or found it helpful in any way, please leave a like and subscribe to support the channel, and I guess I'll see you in the next one.